Hey, so now I'm gonna read more of the book that I have been reading, and yeah, Between Shades of Grey. And yeah, I'm outside, and there's a bunch of people working, but like, this is as quiet as I'm gonna get it. So I'm sorry if you hear people talking or a lot of other building noises. Yeah, so but yeah, um, enjoy the what I am reading if you can. So, Chapter 5 Between Shades of Grey. Nearly 4 hours passed. We sat in the dark in front of the hospital, unable to leave the vehicle. Other trucks passed, some with people covered in large restraint nets. The streets began to buzz with activity. We were early, one of the men commented to mother. He looked at his watch. It's nearly 3 a.m. now. The bald man, lying on his back, turned his face toward Jonas. "Boy, put your hands over my mouth and pinch my nose. Don't let go." "He will do nothing of the sort," said Mother, pulling Jonas close. "Foolish woman, don't you realize this is just the beginning? We have a chance now to die with dignity." "Elena," a voice hissed from the street. I saw Mother's cousin Regina, hiding in the shadows. "Have you any relief now that you're on your back?" Mother asked the bald man. "Elena!" The voice appeared again, a little louder. "Mother, I think she's calling you," I whispered, eyeing the NKVD smoking on the other side of the truck. "She's not calling me. She's a crazy woman," Mother said loudly. "Be on your way and leave us alone," she yelled. "But Elena, Mother turned her head and pretended she was in deep conversation with me, completely ignoring her cousin. A small bundle bounced into the bed of the truck near the bald man. His hand grabbed for it greedily. "And you speak of dignity, sir?" said Mother. She snapped the bundle out of his hand and put it under her legs. I wonder what was in the package. How would Mother call her own cousin a crazy woman? Regina had taken a great risk to find her. "You are the wife of Costas Vilkas, provost at the university?" asked a man in a suit, sitting down from us. Mother nodded, wringing her hands. I watched as Mother twisted her palms. Murmurs rose and fell in the dining room. The men had been sitting for hours. "Sweetheart, take them fresh out of the take them the fresh pot of coffee," said Mother. I walked to the edge of the dining room, and a cloud of cigarette smoke hovered over the table, held captive by the closed windows and drapes. Repatriate. I don't know what that word is. If they can get away with it, said my father, stopping abruptly when he saw me in the doorway. "Would anyone like more coffee?" I asked, holding up the sterling pot. Some men looked down. Someone coughed. "Lena, you're turning into quite a young lady," said a friend of my father's from the university, "and I hear that you're a very talented artist." "Indeed she is," said Papa. "She has a very unique style, and she's exceptionally smart," he added with a wink. "So she takes after her mother, then," joked one of the men. Everyone laughed. "Tell me, Luna," said the man who wrote for the newspaper, "what do you think of this new Lithuania?" "Well," interrupted my father quickly, "that's not really a conversation for a young girl, now is it?" "It will be the conversation for everyone, Costas, young and old," said the journalist. "Besides," he said, smiling, "it's not as if I'd print it in the paper." Papa shifted in his chair. "What do I think of the Soviets' annexation?" I paused, avoiding eye contact with my father. "I think Joseph Stalin is a bully. I think we should push his troops out of Lithuania. They shouldn't be allowed to come and take what they please, and that's enough, Lena. Leave the pot of coffee and join your mother in the kitchen." "But it's true," I pressed. "It's not right." "Enough," said my father. I returned to the kitchen, stopping short to eavesdrop. "Don't encourage her, Vladis. The girl is so headstrong. It scares me to death," says Papa. "Well," replied the journalist, "now we see how she takes after her father, don't we? You've raised a partisan, Costas." Papa was silent. The gathering ended, and the man left the house at alternating intervals, some through the front door and some through the back. "The university?" said the bald man, still wincing with pain. "Oh, well, he's long gone then." My stomach contracted like someone had punched me. Jonas turned a desperate face to my mother. "Actually, I work at the bank, and I saw your father just this afternoon," said a man, smiling at Jonas. I knew he was lying. Mother gave the man a grateful nod. "I saw him on his way to the grave then," said the surly bald man. I glared at him, wondering how much glue it would take to keep his mouth shut. "I am a stamp collector, a simple stamp collector, and they're delivering me to my death because I correspond internationally with the other collectors. A university man would certainly be near the top of the list for—" "Shut up," I blurted. "Lena," said Mother, "you must apologize immediately. This poor gentleman is in terrible pain. He doesn't know what he's saying." "I know exactly what I'm saying," said the man. The man replied, staring at me. The hospital doors opened, and a great cry erupted from within. An NKVD officer dragged a barefoot woman in a bloodied hospital gown down the steps. "My baby! Please don't hurt my baby!" she screamed. Another officer walked out, carrying a swaddled bundle. A doctor came running, grabbing at the officer. "Please, you cannot take the newborn. It won't survive," yelled the doctor. "Sir, I beg you, please." The officer turned to the doctor and kicked the heel of his boot into the doctor's kneecap. They lifted the woman into the truck. Mother and Miss Grabus scrambled to make room for her, lying next to the bald man. The baby was handed up. "Lena, please," Mother said, passing the pink child to me. I held the bundle and instantly felt the warmth of its little body penetrating through my coat. "Oh God, please, my baby," cried the woman, looking up at me. The child let out a soft cry, and its tiny fist pummeled the air. Its fighting for its life had begun. Chapter 6. The man who worked at the bank gave Mother his jacket. She wrapped the suitcase around the woman's shoulders and smothered her hair away from her face. "It's all right, dear," said the mother to the young woman. "Vitus, they took my husband, Vitus," breathed the woman. I looked down at the little pink face in the bundle, a newborn child. The child had been alive only minutes, but was already considered a criminal by the Soviets. I clutched the baby close and put my lips on its forehead. Jonas leaned against me. If they would do this to a baby, what would they do to us? "What is your name, dear?" said Mother. "Ona," she craned her neck. "Where is my child?" Mother took the child from me and laid the bundle in the woman's chest. "Oh, my baby, my sweet baby," cried the woman, kissing the infant. The truck lurched forward. She looked at Mother with pleading eyes. "My leg!" wailed the bald man. "Do any of you have any medical training?" asked Mother, scanning the faces in the truck. The people shook their heads. Some wouldn't even look up. "I'll try to make a splint," said the man from the bank. "Does anyone have anything straight I can use? Please, let's help one another." People shifted uncomfortably in the truck, thinking about what they might have in their bags. "Sir," said Jonas, leaning around me. He held out his little ruler from school. The old woman who had gasped at my nightgown began to cry. "Well, yes, that's very good. Thank you," said the man, accepting the ruler. "Thank you, darling," said Mother, smiling at Jonas. "A ruler? You're going to set my leg with a little ruler? Have you all gone mad?" screeched the bald man. "It's the best we can do at the moment," said the man from the bank. "Does anyone have something to tie it with?" "Someone just shoot me, please," yelled the bald man. Mother pulled a silk scarf from her neck and handed it to the man from the bank. The librarian slid the knot from her scarf as well, and Miss Grabus dug in her bag. Blood began to soak through the front of Ona's hospital gown. I felt nauseous. I closed my eyes and tried to think of something, anything to calm myself. I pictured my sketchbook. I felt my hands stir. Images like celluloid frames rolled through my mind. Our house, Mother adjusting Papa's tie in the kitchen, the lily of the valley, Grandma. Her face soothed me somehow. I thought of the photo tucked in my suitcase. Grandma, I thought, help us. We arrived at the small train on the depot in the countryside. Soviet trucks filled the rail yard and packed with the people just like